I'm Lakeisha Myers. I'm sitting in for Keith Parris.
Yeah, your mic is hot.
I knew that. Oh, it's supposed to be. Thank you so much. Sitting in for Keith Parris on his program, as he calls it.
Did you let
Community
that
Voice.
seat down? Something?
You know what? Y-O-M-A-M-A.
I get that
spells
often around these
yo
parts.
mama.
Right,
Yo
right.
what? Yo mama.
That sounded like a high school chick.
Yo mama. What? Yo mama.
Yeah, it was a high school.
She's listening, by the way. just
That's
so
right.
You know.
She know I'm telling the truth. She would call in and affirm everything I've just
Yeah,
said.
see, Doug
You were a
started that
problem.
stuff around here with the mama stuff.
What?
Yeah, Doug started that.
Did he? Did he? Yeah.
Doug, never mind.
No, I really do. You know,
You don't even know my mama.
that's true. But I feel her pain because, you know, every time she look and be like, oh my God.
Doug started the your mama stuff. around here.
Oh my God.
And then
58 years being stuck with him. Oh my goodness.
I don't understand.
How did I ever let him make it past 10? I know. Then she passed her off to his wife. 29 years dealing with Debo.
32 together.
Yeah.
You know what?
Doggone
Mrs.
shame.
Debo, it is your ministry. God bless you.
You said it's her ministry.
God bless you. It takes a special one, sister.
I don't say nothing about them Usher Boy shoes.
I understand. It
The
takes a
white-
special one for
Don't
Mrs.
come for
Debo.
me, 'cause
I didn't
somebody's
even
like,
say nothing about that.
Don't
You
come for
immediately
me.
knew when I said Usher Boy shoes.
Yeah, I mean, because everybody's heard you say it.
I had some on
just
yesterday.
Like the way you deflect.
I had some on
You can't
yesterday. I
take
felt
the
like
heat.
they was Usher
You
shoes.
know, keep it to you, Carvey.
I gotta show you this picture of the
Carvey.
Usher shoes I had on yesterday.
And Carvey over here laughing.
Carvey always laughing, but
He's in a good
you
spirit.
know, don't try to deflect. See, he can't say.
Yeah, he can't stand the heat.
He like to talk
And
crazy.
it's both of
We're
us.
And
So
then
he,
run. You know what they
that's
say:
what
throw the ball and hide his hand.
he does.
That's what this brother
Mhm.
is.
That's what I'm
See,
gonna let him
Pop
live because it's
star.
his birthday, you know, today.
So
we're
did I
both
have on
grown
real
men.
white? So take a look at this picture. The one with the white on told the other one, girl, that's off white. You shouldn't even be in this picture.
What? Let me see.
Okay.
Was she right? That's off white, ain't it? Don't be going all in the archives and stuff now.
Who was the lady with her dress? Who got the dress on? Oh, they both got skirts on, but
One lady got
But
tennis.
one of them, you're supposed to be looking at the color. You all in the.
I'm trying to get information. Well,
It's off.
is it kind of off white?
It's off.
Hmm.
It wasn't dingy though.
Your white ain't white. Look at your white.
Uh-huh.
My white is white.
Look at that.
That is E-Crew.
Look.
What the hell is EQ?
Look at your.
Y'all make it up.
No,
that's
E-Crew
that.
is an off-white. It's like an eggshell. See,
That's not.
it's not pure white.
compared to that white jacket.
Mhm. Your white ain't white. So you
Well,
trying to
that
talk
was
about
the
people.
sunlight. That was the
No, that
sunlight.
ain't the sunlight.
That was the sunlight.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was not.
That was the view. That was the view. That was
he
the
was
view.
clean.
Your white ain't white.
My white is white.
No, it's not, man. Look at her white.
You have to see it, Michelle. It's
Nah,
white.
we looking at the
Now,
picture.
Well, go look at some more pictures.
I'm
Okay.
just
You're gonna get a
telling
better idea.
You and no.
Caller, we saw you called. If you wanted to call back in, the phone
Like,
number is
his
444-525-0.
is white in that 3-piece suit.
That's funeral.
Even though he got that blue shirt on and I don't know what's happening, but his white is
That's
white.
he got that. That's his funeral suit. He gonna be put away in that one.
Now it look,
Y'all so crazy.
now it look white right here, but compared to that other.
See what threw it off was the beater.
Look
You know,
at
I had to have
look,
you had to have a
look.
beater on up
Yeah,
under there.
Debo,
Hers
look
look
at the
white.
colors, bro. Hers is
Y'all
stark white.
not.
You got on.
If
got
you
on.
see it, it's white as your
You got on
your muscle shirt.
dingy.
Did you say your muscle?
Because he mad. Because
Yeah, he had white on at his own
I
car.
had on white.
You had on.
Now, don't it look white in that picture?
No, not really.
Mm.
But the tan was you said it next to that lake. Why is hers white
And yours
and
is
yours is
E-Crew.
not? Look at it.
He talking about some what is
talking about some
E-Crew?
EQ.
Excellent.
That's right.
Now, don't it look white on that one?
That's you by yourself.
You
I
by
ain't got nothing
yourself.
to
We ain't got nothing to
compare it
compare it to.
Well,
But when we compare it to something, bruh,
You were
your
not.
stuff was not
n-
white.
Yeah.
Woo, look at it. It's a sad day.
that's
You
white.
realize
All
by
day
yourself.
long.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're by yourself.
Mm-mm.
It's a sad day when you because the first
I should have never showed y'all these
with
pictures.
That white jacket is the tell all. Look at it.
Mhm.
Well, see, that's a funeral home white. I don't.
We
I don't want
We
that.
got funeral home white. I
Yeah.
ain't never heard
So
of
he
that.
didn't say we're funeral
Home white to the party.
I didn't put that on the flyer. No,
You
We're
You,
supposed
you
to
didn't
wear
put
no-
upper room white.
He told
That's-
me. He said, I went and got this suit today, special.
The man
I said, you should have left that suit there.
the 3 B's?
Special. Yeah, he should have left
Yes,
that
it was
there.
not. Yeah.
Y'all didn't see it. See, you have to look at the material. It had like little pockets in it. Puckers in the suit. Like puckers all the way through
It
it.
might have been. What's the fabric?
Oh, your mic ain't been on the whole time. Your mic ain't been on.
I know. I can tell. What's the fabric?
Seersucker.
Seersucker. It might have been
The
seersucker.
seersucker.
Was it
Mhm.
seersucker?
No, they seen the sucker coming.
You know what?
They told him that suit.
We have a caller, Mr. Depot.
Let's see what they talking about. Go right ahead, caller.
Hello, good morning. How are you? How is everybody?
Good
You
morning.
doing all right?
All right, good. First time caller, long time listener. I just want to say happy birthday to you, brother Debo.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. And you ladies, you beautiful black queens. Hello. This may be a little bit different. What y'all? I don't know what y'all subject is right now, but is there any help for elderly persons that has been in their home over 30 years, got no hot water heater is out? Is there any help for that
You know
person?
what? Yeah,
there was. It's DC, but they closed.
And we got to figure out who else is doing that on the south side.
I think
because,
UCC.
Yeah,
they had
there was a place that I'll tell you what. Can you leave your number with Debo, and I'll give you a
Okay.
call when I get off the air so we can figure out if there's some resources.
Okay, I appreciate that, Ms. Chair. And you enjoy yourself, have a beautiful time
Yes, sir.
on your vacation.
Yes,
lady.
sir.
Okay, stay on the line. I'm gonna place you on hold, and then I'll come
All
to you
right,
and give you that
appreciate
information.
you, Debo.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
Michelle,
welcome.
you missing the St. Paul tour there. I heard
Yeah,
you.
I was trying to
Trying to go to
all of
Ephesus.
the Ephesus. I was
Yes,
trying to think of all the
Ephesus.
little religious stuff I was missing. Okay, so somebody just flagged this for me. I had not seen this
Oh
yet.
yeah, about them killing the people.
No.
Oh, what?
The Milwaukee mayor to replace the elections chief Claire Woodall.
What?
So,
It
Mayor,
better not be with Neil.
do you mind if I read this on
No, go
your
ahead.
show? Mayor Cavalier Johnson is replacing Milwaukee Election Commission Executive Director Claire Woodall with her deputy, Paulina Gutierrez. What? According to a Sunday evening email to Election Commission staff, the change comes 6 months before the November presidential election, in which all eyes are expected to be on Milwaukee. Quote, change, especially when it is unexpected, can be unsettling, Gutierrez wrote in a Sunday evening email. The experience of change in leadership is demanding and uncertain as we navigate uncharted waters and relearn to collaborate and communicate as an organization. Gutierrez wrote that she is, quote, building a network of people. What in the heck is going on? Is building a network of people with experience in elections to support our efforts in this upcoming critical election. The mayor has assured me that we will be provided with the appropriate blah, blah, blah.
What was going
Where's
on?
Claire Woodall going?
Right.
And Paulina just got there.
because she left DOC.
She left the Department of Corrections.
Mhm.
What in the world is going on? But let me say this. Because love, hate, whatever you think about Claire.
Mhm.
Claire Woodall was on a panel with me that James Causey did.
Mhm. I remember that.
And one of the things that came out was that there had been efforts, even by the current administration, to reduce the number of polling locations in the city of Milwaukee
Mhm.
during the mayoral election.
Mhm.
And she questioned, why would we be doing that, given the fact that COVID was not, raging.
Right.
There were not those kinds of health concerns that had, in their mind, warranted going down to 5, which was the most ignorant, ridiculous thing ever. But I guess it's just interesting to try to figure out what in the world happened with Claire. And then coming up on one of the most critical elections
Yeah.
in our country right now. And no offense to Paulina, but you just got there.
And I don't know what her background is as far as actually doing a full election process at this point. It's not like if it would be like Julietta or like somebody else who was done elections either.
Oh
But,
my God.
yeah, that's a lot.
And I actually like Paulina,
Right.
but I don't know how I feel about this.
Right.
Y'all, I'm telling you the stuff. And then it's the thing. So what's the reason?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, do you say Claire is taking another job? You know, we hate to see her go. Was it Claire was doing an awful job? Why was she replaced? And this is all just a little too cozy for me. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
You get tired of
Every
trying
day.
to keep up with all of the nonsense that goes on at City Hall. You just get tired. You get tired. And this is the thing, because people have done so much shade, you always have to question what you see.
The
And many
invisible
times,
hands, all of it.
I'm just saying, rarely is it what you see. Rarely is it what it's presented as. Why is how you got a new person and speaking with all the confidence in the world about, you know, the team you're putting together and the this and the that. How you got a new person? This is going to be one of the most scrutinized when the Republicans are talking about trying to get 100,000 volunteers
Mm-hmm.
on their fake election protection
Right.
crap to stand over and intimidate and bully people in these polling locations. And you're going to have a person that's 6 months on. Well, she's been there longer than 6 months. She probably have been there
8 months.
8 months, maybe not, maybe no, she's been there almost a year.
Okay.
Maybe almost a year, because I remember when she went. But it just still feels interesting when you talk about the level of experience
Mm-hmm.
and scrutiny to detail and all the nuance of understanding everything that goes with that job. Yeah, okay. This is a hot mess. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait.
We have a caller. Caller, good morning.
Well, good morning.
Good
How
morning.
y'all
morning.
doing? Good morning. Michelle and Miss Myers, how y'all doing?
Doing all right. How
Happy
about
birthday,
yourself?
Mr. Debo.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. I got a something that I don't hear talked about. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so some of us, we don't trust Donald Trump, right? And he's always talking about this is rigged, fake election, and all of that. What safeguard do we have in place? Because we know he is shiesty. I'm gonna call him a shiesty if y'all won't. That he won't rig the election. That he's not putting things in place where he's gonna do some things that's gonna rig the election.
Right. We was.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you know, first of all, we know that anything is possible with Trump because he attempted to influence,
Right.
you know,
Secretaries of state, different
yeah,
people, who
election
had-
officials
yeah.
around the country in key swing states. What did he tell folks down in Georgia? I just need you to
find
find me 11,000 votes.
Right.
Find me. You know, so we already know what he's definitely capable of. I think one of the things that we were fortunate with is that the systems as they currently exist withstood attempts to corrupt the system. But we've seen more Republican legislatures go in and mess with the election commission, change who serves on the election commission, run people out of town who would have stood up and fought back. So now the ability to co-opt some of these processes, it is more real than it probably had been
Right.
because of the way they have intentionally tried to strip the election commission of people that would have brought a more balanced approach to doing the work. So I think that we will have, well, not I think, I know we'll have our own people that will be there watching the process, but there are things that I think we legitimately should be concerned about.
Right.
When you look at what they've done to election commissions around the country.
And when you pay attention to what the state laws are that deal with elections, like in North Carolina, you can go through and make challenges blanketly
Right.
to say that, oh, this person probably moved. And I can't remember, what was it on Rigged? The guy who just went through and looked at like mostly predominantly black surnames and would
Right.
say, okay, if you a Williams, a Johnson, and a Jackson, you probably have moved.
And then
I'm
one or two
challenge
people
your-
was able to do like 10 and 30,000 challenges.
And then these people would have to come to this meeting with the letter and
Proving-
prove that they live there. And like only one guy actually did it. So it's certain state laws that
Right.
make it much easier to challenge somebody's voter status.
So to your question, and you
It
know,
may not
a
just be him,
roundabout
but it's
answer,
yeah,
we in trouble this time.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
in
because
terms of him being able to pull off, you know, some major, you know, nonsense in a number of these states by way of fraud. We're in trouble because of the way they have adjusted the laws to accommodate him after losing to Biden in
right, because
2020.
you think of the seeds that has been planted that and Michelle mentioned one of them earlier. I noticed none of the Republicans clowns can come along and say, I'm going to stand by the election. They still haven't been willing to admit that he won in 2020 in the last election.
Right, 2020. Right.
Right. So if we can't get them to commit to this one, and they already planting the seed, you know what I'm saying? We hear it long enough. Some of us begin to believe it. Took it up enough of your time. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And let me just say this. So right here in our own state, we had Republican lawmakers
Mhm.
propose to dissolve the state's bipartisan election commission 5 months before the 2024 presidential election. This, you know, was first talked about back in December of last year. And they talked about the proposal release requires a Secretary of State who is right now a Democrat, Sarah Godlewski, to take over election administration duties from the commission by June 30th and bars her from taking any action without the approval of the Republican-controlled legislative committee overseeing election issues. So we have the Republican legislature, statewide legislature, that was trying to get their hands on local election commissions. And these are many election deniers.
Right.
Who have said they believe that Trump was cheated.
Right.
And this is who you could potentially have future decisions about Wisconsin elections in the hands of these Republicans who were many, in fact, election deniers.
Go figure. We got one more caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I was just calling about one of your previous callers. He was asking about water heater.
Yes.
There are other agencies that are doing those services. But if he calls 211, they'll hook him up with an agency for water service.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll make sure. Thank you, bro.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, love our listeners.
Well, going along that line, we got another caller. I just want to put this out there first, Debo, before we go to the caller. Michelle, you were talking about it's not just Debo's birthday. Something important happened on his birthday that we were talking about. On May 6, 1960, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the Civil Rights Act of 1960.
That's right.
Yes. So you knew that, Debo? Okay. Establishing federal inspection of local voter registration polls and penalties for obstructing someone's attempt to register to vote. This bill was drafted in response to an outbreak of violent attacks on churches and black schools in the South. In addition to paving the way for stronger legislative protection against discrimination, like the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the act also broadened the reach of the 1957 Civil Rights Act by prohibiting bombings and local interference with federal court orders. Although not as critical as other civil rights legislation, the passing of the act was not a battle easily won, as Southern politicians railed against the law, sparking the longest filibuster in history, which lasted more than 125 hours in the U.S. Senate. So, yeah, imagine somebody sitting there talking for 125 hours to get this bill to die. So that was
at least they weren't reading The Cat in the Hat like Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz did read The Cat in the Hat. Somebody started reading Gone with the Wind, I thought. Once.
Yeah, reading, bedtime stories to their kids while they were standing there. And let me just say, May 6th is funny too, because this is a day that people know I've been married twice. This is actually my wedding anniversary of my first.
Oh, you remember what day you got married?
I don't remember what day I got divorced, but I remember what
It's your anniversary.
I remember what
He
day I
remember
got
the day
married.
he got divorced from you. I bet he remembers.
Yeah, he probably
do.
He gonna take it to his grave with all my payments.
He remembers.
You know, I'm just because saddest day of his life, I'm sure. Like, dang.
Okay.
You let Michelle go.
There goes my baby. That's
Oh my gosh.
That was the song.
Really?
Yeah.
what he
Not
was
taking
singing.
away from the importance of your
That's
mom.
not
But you
what
gotta
he
love.
was singing.
We
He
do.
was singing that. He was because when
Good
I tell
morning.
you When I did go to divorce court, boo, I was fine. Killer.
Yeah, but you could cut your hair off
No,
to spite him.
This was the one that
it
Emmanuel
happened later.
Mwange.
Oh.
It happened later. Yeah. So
He
I
had
mean,
Emmanuel Mwange.
but wait a minute, hold on. Hell, I just heard what you said.
What?
But you had cut your hair off. Like you can't be fine and not have long
No,
hair.
Michelle, you just told me that he loved hair.
No.
Says
But you
Debo
still
with no
can be
hair.
fine with long, short hair. What is you saying? Go ahead, put your foot in that again.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can have a line of sisters outside. Did he turn my mic
He
off?
did. Led by
Did-
Mrs. Debo.
You gotta call her.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Oh, good morning. There's two things I want to point out that I see today that bothers me. One is I heard a young lady on the radio that I thought was me. I even known I didn't call, I didn't realize it wasn't me. And that was Kathy, who told like me, I'm Ms. Rose. And I just wanted to, and I remember a guy saying he thought we were the same. We're not the same people because I don't see kind of violent mentality. So I wanted to clear that one point up. And number two, you gotta be careful the mayor's office. I told Barrett before he left. I said he was the best Republican mayor that we in the city of Milwaukee ever had, and that we should be very careful about these decisions made by our present mayor, who's following in the same footsteps of his advisors. It seems. So there might be a Republican involvement because of the southeastern tax controlled by Republicans. I just wanted people to be aware of that. There's something going down, and I don't know what the strategy is, but it sounds something good for us. Even though I did hear that Kennedy is moving up in the Republican race as far as running for president. Have a blessed day, Grace.
You as well. You as well. Well, I think we all have to just be vigilant and pay attention to what's happening, just like Michelle talked about on her show, to go to City Hall and pay attention to the, committee hearings and all of those things that are going on. One of the things that we see in the Capitol often is that people do not show up until it's too late. The bill is right there, already ready and packaged with a bow on it to go. So by the time you get there to complain about it, the votes have already been whipped and they are already in place. And your dissent may be falling on deaf ears. So I think that's something that we have to be more vigilant about, and do that on the front end versus doing it later on. So that's something that I would say that we need to pay attention to. And then of course let people know how you feel. Don't just complain about things at home. Call the mayor's office, flood him with calls, and ask questions. Why is Claire going away? Where is she going? Does she have another job? What's going on?
I mean, because like you just want to ask the question, like, so what's the reason for the shakeup? And I'm not saying that there isn't one.
Yeah, but just give somebody a better answer than finding out in the newspaper in the morning.
Yeah,
that,
there? I mean, let me look and see. Was there a press release? Because I
I
get the e-notify.
Yeah, I get e-notified. I did not see something in e-notified.
I'm just
So it was.
we just got to do better, man.
We do. That is very, very true. We do. You said something, Debo? You was looking.
Take a break.
Oh, okay. We'll see you. You don't look at me. We'll be back after we pay some bills on Community Voice. You're listening to 860 WNOV, The Voice. Welcome back. Welcome back to Community Voice. I'm Lakeisha Myers sitting in for Keith Parris today. Sitting here talking to Mr. Debo, who's the birthday boy, and Carvey, whose birthday is Wednesday. Okay. And my birthday, of course, is May 21st, the national holiday. So
Right,
all of
right.
us May babies.
Did you say, of course?
It is a national holiday.
National holiday.
Me and Biggie Smalls got the same birthday. Get money. Malcolm X was May 19th. By any means necessary, get money. That's my motto in life. By any means necessary, get money.
Malcolm X was May
May 19th.
May 19th.
Hmm.
Huh.
Yes, and me
That's
on the 21st.
questionable tactics.
That's why I'm always down with the people. You know, Brother Malcolm. You know, by any means necessary, be ready. That's it. You got to be ready. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was Devo this weekend. I actually did a couple things. And
Really?
yes, I did. I went to quite a few events this weekend. There was a whole lot going on. Everything in Milwaukee happened on the same day. And Saturday seemed to be just the day that everybody picked to have everything
do?
happen on. I went to the AKA Day at the Derby. It was a Kentucky Derby party. Are you blowing, Michelle?
No, I'm sorry.
Did you have something to say?
Well-
Because the Deltas didn't have no Derby party. They was all at our party. I'm just saying.
Because we believe in supporting people.
Yeah, but you just said it with a like attitude.
I'm sorry.
I thought I saw a lot of what was that in the downtown area?
No, that was over at the Preserve, the golf course in Silver Spring Country Club.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go that far.
You don't go
I
that
don't mess around out
You don't
there.
mess around. You know,
We don't go out there.
we
don't.
well, we was all out there.
Hey.
There was,
That was y'all.
you said that's y'all.
They gonna
No,
bother
it was
y'all.
it was a good time. The Diamond Jubilee Pearls Foundation. There's their scholarship fundraiser that they have.
Mhm.
So I went out there, but we actually were able to see the Kentucky Derby live, you know, on screens there. So for those of you who, if you won and Mystic Dan was your horse, then I want my cut from the, you know, winners of the weekend. So, but there was an African American. The reason I'm bringing this up is because there was, I don't know if not a lot of people knew, there was a black trainer that had a horse in the Kentucky Derby this year, and it was the first time that a black trainer has been in the Kentucky Derby since, I don't know, I think like 1989 maybe. So with the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby, this particular horse, I'm trying to look, Larry Demeret is the man's name. He was the trainer. He is a horse trainer that's in his 70s. So he has been training horses for a long, long time, second generation horse trainer. But he had a horse in the Kentucky Derby this year. So I think that horse came in 11th that he had. But if we don't know our own history to think about that, we often have a large, long history at the Kentucky Derby. The first few jockeys to win the Kentucky Derby back in the 1800s were actually African Americans. So when you think about that, we don't often see us in the equestrian sports as much these days. And like I said, we've not had a black trainer in the Kentucky Derby since '89. And there hadn't been a black trainer prior to that since 1951. Prior to the earliest days of the Derby. The first Kentucky Derby, of course, was run in 1875, and Oliver Lewis, who was the first, and his horse was the first jockey and trainer to win the Kentucky Derby, and they were both black. So when you think about that, if you're looking for sports for your kids to get into, so looking at horse racing and equestrian show jumping and horse racing, those are some things that you might want to think about. But we have an interesting history in the Kentucky Derby. So that was one of the things that I wanted to point out, that to congratulate the Diamond Jubilee Pearls Foundation and Upsilon Mu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha for on a successful event. This was their 5th Derby Day event for scholarships, and I'm sure they would be interested in folks making donations to their organization on their behalf. Then, of course, you know, Wanda Montgomery, my good friend Wanda, the mayor of Brown Deer. She had their event. She's the president emeritus of the Black Child Development Institute. They had their event. WNOV had a table at that event on Saturday evening. So I was able to go and support BCDI on their event. There's expanding their territory to all of Wisconsin instead of just Milwaukee. So that was a wonderful event as well. And then after that, it was Teacher Appreciation Night.
Mhm.
So that was a whole lot of folks that were downtown too. So you had a whole lot of people downtown. It was the Milwaukee Metropolitan Alliance of Black School Educators. They had their annual Teacher of the Year gala at, I think it was the Wisconsin Center. Yeah, Baird.
Who was the Teacher of the Year?
There were several for different schools. DJ Mr. Martin
Okay.
was, I know you know him. DJ Mr. Martin was honored as one of the Teachers of the Year. So it's for your school. So the different schools that are in that network, they have Teachers of the Year. And I think Mr. Martin works at Bayview. I think he's still at Bayview. So he was Teacher of the Year for Bayview. And then Margaret Fish, she was a well-known art teacher in MPS. She was Teacher of the Year this year as well for, I think she's at Wedgwood International School. So those were a few of the folks that I knew that were being honored for Teacher of the Year. So congratulations to all of those that were honored for Teacher of the Year. And this kicks off Teacher Appreciation Week. So special thank you to all the teachers that deal with students every day. We know it's a very, very hard job. People like Mr. Debo were probably terrible students, and they had to get phone calls. Really? You didn't get a phone call home?
Oh, that didn't make me terrible though.
Oh, you just were mischievous.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Yeah.
So they had to call your mama to warm you up. Sometimes. You didn't get a whooping on your birthday, did you?
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I got a whooping on my birthday before.
Mm-mm.
People used to whoop you all the time. That's what they did. They want to hit you. The number of,
the number. Yeah.
But you know, at my numbers now, you'd be tired trying to whoop me.
58 licks.
Yeah.
That's okay.
How? Oh, never mind. That's right. You ain't never supposed to ask a lady.
Oh, I don't care about telling my age. I am turning 40 years old on May 21st. The big 4-0.
Still a baby, Lakeisha.
I am. I know. That's it though. 40 is a milestone though. Carvey turning 19.
Carvey's like, leave me out of that.
Leave me out.
No. You didn't think. How old did you guess that Lakeisha was? What would you have guessed?
I would say like
30s. Okay.
Really, Carvey? You just trying to keep it smooth, aren't you? 35 now.
Yes, Carvey. Off the glance.
I watched a speech you gave. I think it was in Madison.
Carvey said if I walk past him, he think I was about 35. So not 35. Much younger. Yeah. Okay.
Wait a minute, Carvey.
Yeah, he knows I'm older than him. Yeah.
You would have thought she was even younger. Yeah,
I'm seriously. A lady asked me on the college tour. A lady asked me what college I was going to.
I heard Michelle talking about that.
And I was like, well, thank you, ma'am. So if I could pass for 18, 19,
you get carded a lot.
You know what? I still do get carded a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have gone to establishments and people have asked me for my driver's license. And the lady, I think I went one time and the lady was like, oh, I thought she was like right at 20. I was like, oh, well, thank you. So, yeah.
Yeah, you've aged well.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Good looks, good genes, and Vaseline.
When it starts going, though, ooh, boy.
No, it's not gonna go for me though. I think I'm okay. If I'm this good at 40, I think I can coast pretty good until it, it's not gonna catch up.
Let's get back to your subject matter.
Yes. Hey, there are some young looking teachers out there that there are, although it can age you a little bit when you start letting it get to you.
Because I would have never thought that the school board representative that just stepped
Aisha?
down,
Mm-hmm.
You would never guess her age. She looks young.
Yeah.
To have been a teacher.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you have to think, I've been in education almost 20 years. Mm-hmm. So it's, so I'm right at about, I think 17 years in. So that's, when you think about people who came in with me, that was the early 2000s, I guess, you've been teaching that long. So people, and I was one of the younger teachers when I first started teaching. So
When did you start?
I started in 2007. Yeah. I had to think. I had to think about. Think about. No, I started right after graduation. It was a little lap between graduation.
Have you had that looked at?
Huh?
Nothing.
You know what? I had to think about what year. 2007. But yeah.
So what school did you start at?
I started out at Drew Freeman Middle School in Prince George's County, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
So I started teaching. Yeah, I started teaching when I was in Maryland. So I was living in DC at the time. I'd actually come back home to Milwaukee, and then I left to work in Congress. And I worked for Lena for a while. Then I ended up getting the job working in Congress, and then I left there and went to start teaching school. I wanted to do something a little bit different, and teaching was the family business, so I did that.
Makes sense. Keep it
Yep.
in the family.
Keep it in the family.
Want to take a call?
I can. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. I'm just curious. Why is it when it comes to Republican Party, black people is always on their best behavior? If the Republican Party something, everybody eyes going every which way. Ain't nobody raising no hell. The Republican Party say they gonna do something. Ooh, take your money and run. Well, so I'm trying to figure out why is black people always on their best behavior? Because y'all know black people don't do that when they come to each other. And I know how some of y'all get when you drink. Y'all every big bad SOB crime, y'all come to your house, shoot you up. I come to the cemetery, snatch you out the casket, bust your head on the gravestone and say that's for the next generation. But then when it comes to the Republican Party, don't nobody got nothing to say. So I'm kind of confused. What's up?
You know what, Al? I think you are right. When it comes to people that actually take money for you, like I said, all money is not good money. So that's the first thing, is that we have to look at who we are putting in office and look at where the money resides as far as who is the invisible hand with some of these people. So there are operatives that do that try to play both sides.
Because I never could understand that. Because like when the Republican Party say something, somebody say, "Oh well, it's because they got the resources." I'm like, okay, well they ain't giving you no resources anyway. So why is we doing a horse and a carriage?
Exactly, because when you look at resources, but the resources of what? Because we talk about that even when you look at nonprofit sector, you look at all these things. There are people who have programs. I use a perfect example all the time of Von Mays and Keon. They both have programs that directly impact the community. They are actually doing the work. They hire local people to work with them and do programming to keep kids out of trouble. But if you look at a lot of major nonprofits, people will give money to United Way, to other, major organizations, but then they have to siphon off and get smaller amounts of that money that will go to organizations like a, village group that Keon has, or Program the Parks, things like that. So you're fighting for the same amount of money, but just a smaller piece of the pie. When in actuality, we need to be giving more to direct service and not for people that have large overhead.
Because I feel like when it comes to the Republican Party, Donald Trump, Cavalier Johnson, Ashanti Hamilton, I feel that all of them can be crushed because we as black people know how to do it. And I'm just going to say this. When they go low, open the devil's door and let that devil do his work and step aside. Have a good day.
All right, you too, Al. That brother need to take his show on the road.
I always have
Al.
my finger on the button.
For Al,
because you don't never know what Al gonna say today.
That's true, but Al does have some good things that he bring out some. Yeah,
but sometimes he get a little passionate.
He does. But we we love everybody, so we want to make sure we support brother Al. We got another caller. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Happy birthday, people.
Thank you.
I was calling to make a comment about the hit and run.
Mm-hmm.
So according to what Michelle was saying this morning, he knew those people. So there's a good day. We never know what's in the back of a person's mind, but that could have been malice.
Right.
He intended to do what he did because he knew those people.
Yeah, he did know those people, and I think that it speaks volumes about just a mindset and the type of person you are, on so many levels. Number one, to hit anybody, you hit a human being. You don't stop. You don't try to offer help, assistance, anything, and stay at the scene of the crime that you just committed. And then it says so much that you knew the person that you hit. So now I'm thinking like everybody else, was this intentional? Did you mean to hurt this baby or hurt the lady? Whatever you were trying to do, you just run over these people and keep going. And then, for your sister to be in the car with you when you did it, and then for you to go then get your other woman to be in a high-speed chase.
When I watch the video and you see him and the sister get out there running back to the scene,
mm-hmm.
and then you see him running You know,
Mhm.
it makes you wonder. He knew he had hit him. Why did he stop
Why did he? Yeah, exactly.
to run back as if he could save or change the situation? I guess it was. Hmm?
He couldn't believe he did it. He probably couldn't believe he did it the first time either. But okay. Yeah, so I'm
Wow.
like you. So at what point in time do you know start to hold folks responsible? Which is if you have seen anything in the last week, I know folks have seen that. I saw you on TV. Yeah, I was on TV talking about that situation and talking about the fact that we need to call on folks that have power to do something about it, me included, and trying to make sure that we actually do those things to get these laws under control and to strengthen them and do whatever we need to do, because it's boggled my mind at the fact that you can continuously be given a ticket for a suspended license and not go to jail. And so trying to figure out who actually has guidance and authority to do that, from the district attorney to judges, to saying, okay, well, if Lakeisha is driving 3 times without a driver's license and
Mhm.
clearly you don't see one on file for me ever, that means I didn't have one to
Right.
begin with. I need to be locked up if I'm, doing something like that.
Well, the penalty for after suspension needs to be
Needs to be
stiffer.
severely stiffer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
You want to go back to the phone?
Yep. We got a caller.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
morning, caller. How are you?
Yes, I really look at these situations with Donald Trump, and I don't see how. I have
You got us on speaker?
no, you're not. Oh yeah, you're leaving. Yeah, DJ. 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
I don't see how. I got a lot of friends that said they voted for Trump because they say he's giving money. And I told them, I said, the first money that actually came from Obama, and the second money came from Biden. I said, Trump really didn't give us anything. What are you guys want to bigot someone who don't mind taking you out, who have no care for the brown and black people in the office? I said, for money? And so money allowed you to put someone in there that don't have no care about our society, it really bothers me on that, so it's troublesome. But then also on this, a little bit on this reckless driving, they really got to do something, because these young folks are killing, and it's spooky to drive sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
It's very spooky at times. There's times I would come out of my house and I get ready to go to work. I'm going to go take care of some business, and then random white one for me, or just shut around and say, I want to go back home and just sit on the couch. But and a lot of these it's not only the young men, these young girls are doing it now.
Oh, absolutely. It's not one particular gender or age range that's doing it. It's a lot of different people, old people, young people, middle age, whatever you want to call it. But it's a lot of people just
stupid does, and that's what they're now.
Exactly.
And it's terrible out here. We got to do something. It only don't start with our public officials. It starts with us.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
When we got children, when we got people around us that we know that drives this way, you really got to say something. If we see it and don't say no, we're just as guilty. So, hey, I had a young man, I was working on his vehicle, and I got to church that Sunday. I pulled over on finance or something, and the car went past me so fast, it shook my car. And I'm looking at seeing it was him. I rode past half of the truck the next day, pulled up on me. I said, dude, young man, I said, I can't work on your car no more. He said, why? I said, man, you shot past me yesterday. You was doing at least about 100 miles an hour in the 30 zone. 100 miles, I promise you, at least 100 miles an hour in 30 zone. I said, I don't work on people's cars like that. I haven't worked on this car no more. So,
wow.
You guys be good, but I hope the fact that our people get around their heads that Donald Trump is not the way to make things happen. Biden might not be doing everything but he's doing a good job for society. He's helping us. Infrastructure. He's doing what he can to do what to make it happen. But what else do we got out here? We have no one else. No, none of these independents are good for us. If Kennedy is nothing but his own family won't even back him because they say he's just trying to take Biden now. Just because his name Kennedy, okay, so what?
Right.
But he's not. But actually, right now, the polls looks like that he's hurting Trump more than he's hurting Biden. So help if that gonna work, that's gonna work. But we gotta get Trump. You do not need to be on this ballot. So you guys have a great one.
You too. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, we have to take a quick break. We are listening to WNOV 860, The Voice. We'll hear you. We'll
told
be
you to have that look
right
at.
back.
Looking to do something special for your mom? With Mother's Day on
Here with Mr. Debo and Young Carvey. So, what were we talking about earlier? Oh, they were talking about Donald Trump. That's what got me thrown off. That's what happened. But we were talking about teaching and it being Teacher Appreciation Week. So that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. So just wanted to give folks just some heads up that you should be nice to your kids' teachers this week. Wine always works. No, not you should be nice to them and good every day. However, this is the week in which we really show appreciation.
You don't have long though. I mean, school's almost out.
School is almost out. It's always like the first week
So if you haven't been being nice all this time, don't worry about it.
That's true. You know, I guess not. Gift cards work for teachers. We like wine.
Are you appealing?
I am appealing to the public to be good to these people that do so much. Who choose to give their lives
in a day. They spend probably more.
They spend more time with your child than you do. So you should think about that and be nice to folks and show your appreciation
Okay.
We got
you got another caller?
we got another caller. Okay. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Blessed, joyful, grateful, thankful to the Lord. How about yourself?
I'm doing all
Miss
right.
Lakeisha Myers. Good morning, Mr. Debo, and a blessed and joyous birthday to you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. It's a good number. I was born in 1958, so you're wearing a good number there.
I'm gonna try to do it proud.
Wear it proudly for me, man. Thank you. Good morning, young man, Harvey. Harvey Carvey. Good morning, Milwaukee. Tyrone W. speaking. Yeah, my heart is well. God bless the soul and welcome the young lady in the pearly gates of the throne of the Father there. And condolences go out to the family, but Holy Spirit, see her home. I don't know. I didn't have a whole lot to say there. I'm still messed up behind the baby boy Major Harris, man. So when our babies go like that, man, I'm messed up a lot. But we'll do the best we can with it. I can't find the paper there, but Tyrone Dumas had about 10 guidelines in the paper there, the Milwaukee Courier, some years back there now, and I don't know what I did with them all there. I can't find them there, but I was gonna find one and come down there, but I'll have to get with him and see if he's got a couple of copies. But he laid out about 8 to 10 things in there, and they were very precise. And I remember reading it, and I talked with him, and I said, man, you need to be running for governor, because I mean, those are things that were very to the point and very much that could have been put in effect there. But I don't know. It's just, the people that are doing things like, Tyrone Dumas and, many others there, they fall on deaf ears, but everybody wants to legalize marijuana there just for the money and all this stuff here and all this other stuff, instead of just trying to get it right medically before you start doing recreational stuff there. They can't think straight as it is there. So why are you putting something else on them? So, but anyway, I'm gonna get out the way here. I mean, I enjoyed what you said about the equestrians and all that. I'm looking forward to the Summer Olympics in France there. I enjoy watching the horses and stuff like that. Not so much on horse racing, because so many of them wind up getting injured, and then have to be euthanized or put away there. But Mike Tyson's coming back. Speaking of old horses, there, July 25th. There, if you don't get him in the first 5 rounds, there, the young fella might get him there. So that's on July 25th. Then that's just before my birthday.
Oh, okay.
It's on the 28th. So, and I'll be 66. So I got you about 8 years, Mr. Debo there. So, but that's all right, because Cyndi Lauper's got me by 8 years. And I'll still rock with her, man.
Okay.
I seen her in concert once, and she's funny and she's cute, but yeah, she watered down. She was up there with Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, but she gave a good show.
Okay.
So Cyndi Lauper, yeah, she's in her own right, she's a dear heart and a cute heart in her own way, So, but anyway, I got a lot of concerts I've seen. I'll be on here all day talking about the concerts I've been to and everything, but. Thank you. Have a great show, and good hearing your voice, Lakeisha. And have a great day and a wonderful week. And Mother's Day to all those mothers early, just in case I don't get back in, between now and Mother's Day. But be blessed. Sunshine all over the place today. Enjoy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate you calling in, Tyrone W. And you mentioned there was a list that Tyrone Dumas actually produced, and he still has that list, because Tyrone has sent that to me. And we have tried to make some active movement on that list when it comes to reckless driving and what we can do for, to combat reckless driving. I am a person that believes that for reckless driving, we have to do all things. So that whether that be red light cameras, speed control, whether it be, just enhancing the technology that we have to help combat reckless driving, looking at the easements. I know people complain about the easements and the bump outs and the roundabouts and the speed humps and all those things, but all of those things actually do help. So I'm, looking at that. But the other thing that we can do is actually enforce laws that we actually have on the books. And one of the things that Debo talked about earlier was the fact that the suspended driving license, the statute that talks about driving with a suspended license, that it is not stiff enough. And I agree with that. And that's one of the things that we're looking to combat, and making sure that we actually have those items in place. And also looking at talking to the district attorney and see how charges actually happen for people who, continuously recklessly drive, and how they're being charged, what the sentencing patterns look like, understanding all of those things. So looking at what judges are actually doing and how they're, actually sentencing when it comes to, folks who are repeat offenders when it comes to reckless driving. So all of those things, we have to work together to do all of those things. So it's not, just one person's issue or, one particular entity's issue. We all have to work together and do those things. So I think we have to think about that when we look at, situations like this, especially with baby Zakani and all of the things that we're dealing with as far as folks being hit by cars. I just Dan Devine, the mayor of West Dallas, got hit walking his dog, like Monday, and then Zakani got killed on like Wednesday. So I'm like, it's too much. The people who were hit by the city buses, I think that was the week before or something like that. So just we've gone too far. But it's just, I mean, that's the only thing I can say at this point, is that it has gotten out of hand, and we collectively, the collective we, have to do something about it, whether it be you talking to folks who, drive your vehicle, kids that are driving your cars, people who you let borrow your vehicle, all of the all of the above. We have to all do our part, whatever that part may be. So making sure that we change the paradigm of how we drive, and like my mother says, drive for yourself and other people too. You have to drive for yourself and others as well, because it is very, very true. Because people will, like you say, hit you and keep going. So that's problematic. So yeah, as we turn the page on that subject, one of the things, oh, I got one person that called. I know who this is. Hello, good morning there.
Whole family.
How you doing?
I'm well, Sister Meyer. I'm Dr. Sister Meyer. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all
Let me
right.
Make sure I give all proper due respect. Appreciate you. But I had a comment regarding the issue of suspended license.
Okay.
And as I'm driving, recognizing that, we still have a city full of potholes,
Mm-hmm.
and these potholes cause premature wear and tear on the vehicle and damage, thus, creating problems for the sensors and people's cars going off and loosening up those elements that, maintain the function of a vehicle, and therein not being able to pass the emissions test, not just because of, that particular issue, but the fact that the vehicles are being damaged by, these potholes. And
Mm-hmm.
so if the state and the city and the county and all are going to, one, have a wheel tax that's supposed to repair the potholes, and then have these suspensions of licenses as it relates to maintenance of the vehicle, where that is applicable, then there needs to be something done about that too at the state level, so that the Milwaukee County and Dane County and these counties that have the emissions requirement applied to them when it's not statewide, that needs to be made fair and equal, right, according to the law. That equal protection process, that piece that removes the discriminatory pattern and practice of the state that allows certain counties to bypass the emissions testing, but not Milwaukee County, but not Dane County, but not Racine. The highly populated counties where the majority of the minority populations live, particularly Black folks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that needs to be addressed as well when you're talking about holding people accountable for riding with suspended license.
Mm-hmm.
That you need to have a way of measuring or determining what is the cause of that suspended license, not just the reckless driving, but those issues that relate to the maintenance of their vehicle. If that's it, then there needs to be some kind of waiver put in place, because the city has some obligation and some responsibility towards that that maintenance issue, in my opinion.
So,
And, I just like to
are
know what
you
you think
saying
about
that you can have your license suspended because your car can't pass emissions? Is that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You weren't aware of that?
I mean, because I don't never had no
You probably never even.
I ain't never had.
Right. But no, I mean,
I was like, wait, what?
You can get thousands of people who will call in and say, once they go in for their emissions test, and if it doesn't pass, and the next time, and so people really, a lot of them don't have the money to repair some of the things that are, affecting their vehicles, and so then they bypass getting their license, and then that whole process.
But I thought it just dealt with the tag on the car.
Yeah, that's your registration.
That's your registration.
That gets
so like your car can't pass, but
it's not your driver's license. You can just buy another car, and your license is still going to be good.
Yeah, I thought they were two different.
Doesn't go with a particular vehicle. It
goes with
your
you.
license. Yeah, but the registration is what they suspend. Right, Mr. Stingley?
Correct.
So you said suspend the registration on the car. Yes,
because you fail to pay the fine. Eventually, it's going to affect your license, your privileges of driving.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, I get it from that standpoint. But originally,
right, it may be a time associated with the process.
Right, it's that's a lengthy.
Right, and I'm saying it may be a time drawn out process.
Yes,
but nevertheless, when you put people into the system and they don't have the resources in order to cover those expenses, right? And then the city uses is another form of, an ATM on the population, where you're draining the resources out of people's pockets, and you're not taking care of your responsibility of maintaining the streets in this city. I mean, you think about how many times, I don't know how many of you have had damage to your vehicle because of these potholes, but I certainly have. They don't want to repair it when you file a claim. We're talking about, well, that particular pothole was never, we were never notified that one exists. Give me a break with that. You got city Department of City Development or Department, city workers who are out here in these streets doing various jobs. This city, the management knows what streets are damaged. They've been damaged and in these conditions for years, for decades, some of them. So, that's just an excuse. And again, going back to this issue with the wheel tax, right? You put that in place apparently and telling us that it was going to be done for the purpose of maintaining the streets. It should be an audit done on whether that money has been applied to maintaining the streets, right? Because if that's the purpose for which you say you're going to take it with the registration, then there should be some verification on that's what it's being used for and nothing else.
Okay.
Right?
So the wheel tax was imposed by the
county. That's what you're going to take my money
so that would be
for.
a county request. We can make sure that happens for the county board to answer that question. So I can make some calls to ask that question.
I'm going to have to write a letter to them or ask them that question, in the way that's possible. But
no, I can ask. I wrote it down. I'm gonna do it. I'll ask it for audit numbers if I figure out, what has been done for the county wheel tax, to do that part for the county roads, because I know the difference. One of the things is we no longer have gas tax indexing, which was one of the ways that we had an automatic fund to pay for state highways. So like Fond du Lac, Brown Deer Road, Capitol Drives, those are all state highways that have to be maintained. Which, they work on seemingly them all the time, especially with other infrastructure dollars I've seen. But
right, but when you think in terms of how in Brookfield and Mequon, I'll give you an example. Titonia. If you drive from
that's a puzzle maze. Oh my God.
No, but my point is that if you drive anywhere from where Titonia begins down there, North Avenue, 12th Street, in that area, all the way out to Good Hope, you're gonna encounter a minefield,
right,
of potholes. You get to Good Hope and go north of Good Hope, and it ends,
right,
because those streets are paved, they're flat, and they stay that way because they're maintaining them. Or, and I would say they're putting better materials into the resurfacing and the the maintenance on those streets north of Good Hope. And this happens anywhere you get outside of the city proper, where you get into these areas on some of the main streets. Now, I don't know whether that's the state or the federal or the city, responsibility for those particular roads. But the point remains is whoever it is, Titonia has been in that condition for decades, and like Titonia, Hampton, Hopkins. I mean,
especially further down you go.
We know what the lay of the land is here.
Right, right.
So I just want to put that on the table because, again, it's almost as if there are a myriad of ways for the state and the city and the counties to tap into the funds that the people in Milwaukee County and the higher populated counties, the resources that they have available, which are generally fewer, less than those in the outskirts and in the suburban areas. And yet and still, that whole ATM study that was done, back in, I guess it was when they were concerned about tickets being handed out in the town where Brown was killed, I believe. That federal study. It's just escaping my mind exactly what the name of that city was. But this is a common thing across the country, right? Where Black communities and communities of color are basically being
taxed to death, right?
As ATMs. We're gonna drain their resources with redlining and all these other sorts of policies, and it's just a cyclical type of situation that people are put in where they can never get out of it. So I'll yield with that, but I appreciate you taking my call, and just wish the best for the family. Y'all be at peace because it's a crazy world out here.
Absolutely,
so,
but thank you for your call, Brother Stangley. Thank you so much, and I will look into that for you. So I'm sitting in for Keith today, and we have an interview, but we have a call before we get to the interview. We're going to knock the call out, and then we're going to go to our interview. All right. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Dr. Myers. Thank you for taking my call. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Brother Christopher.
Yes, ma'am. I saw the interview that they had with yourself. I think you were on the corner of Capitol and Fond du Lac, in that area.
Okay.
And here's my contention: is this? No one seems to be addressing the cause of the effect. What caused or what contributed to what you all call reckless driving? How people have become completely unhinged behind the wheel of their vehicles. And I was wondering, nobody has taken into consideration that when the train manufacturing plant, when that was thwarted by Scott Walker, all of these things started taking place. Now, had those parents of those children who live on the north side were able to be gainfully employed, had that situation taken place, then you probably would have never have had criminalized young Black youth and calling them reckless drivers. And along with that, when you are an engineer or like a chemist or a chemical engineer, I should say, you understand how to balance an equation so that you will get the reaction that you are seeking. With an engineer builds a thing and he can spot or she can spot or to identify the flaws or potential things that could cause a problem. So with me saying that is to suggest that why hasn't the people who are like legislators like yourself, people who are in the government of the white folks, why haven't you all focused your attention on those people who have produced those flawed vehicles, whereas you could get more money and that could probably contribute to the to this dismantling or the redirection of the waywardness of our youth. Because when I hear Black people who are in the government of white folks, it's not your government. When I hear them come out and say things like that and don't take into consideration the totality the cause and the effect, then I think that that person is a panderer. And that person is pandering to someone or to some group of people that might advance them or aggrandize them to another level of success that they may be seeking. So all in all, what I'm saying that is this. When we have Black people who represent the government of the United States in whatever capacity, whether it's local or federal or whatever, what you are doing, first of all, you are a compromised person for Black leadership because that's ridiculous. And you are compromised because in order to sustain whatever it is that you are doing, you have to acquiesce to Caucasian people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think I do. One of the
All right.
things I would
Thank you
say
very
is that
much.
with manufacturers, you asked about manufacturers and going after manufacturers. The only instance that I'm aware of government entities being able to sue a manufacturer for a defect that we've had that I've seen lately in Milwaukee and other cities has been with Kias and Hyundais, because they're basically built and easy to steal. So that has been one of the only ways that I've in recent years that I can think of off the top of my head, where you've actually had a manufacturer um, or a government entity go after a manufacturer of a physical, well, I shouldn't say a physical product, a car manufacturer, when you deal with transportation issues. The only other item that I can think of readily available is when the government went after pharmaceutical manufacturers for their marketing of opioids. So those have been the only two examples that readily come to mind when I think about things like that. So I think one of the things is you're asking about is basically the juxtaposition of a person looking at how laws impact people. And I think we try to look at those things. And I think that goes back to what Craig was talking about with trying to temper what you do as a reaction and also try to look out for the best interests of the community. And that's what you try to do every day. At least I do. When you try to create laws, we have to understand that we have a problem. People are recklessly driving. There was no reason that that baby should have been killed. There was no reason that the people should have run into a bus, or that, whoever, people have gotten hit on their own property, sitting on the porch, and then a car runs up on the street and, onto the sidewalk and hit people. We've seen too many of these instances, and looking at the laws that we already have on the books, we have to make sure that we, number one, have the strength of the law that we need for the current time. Different times call for different measures. I think that we also need to temper that by not being extreme and going to be so harsh with a law and making it so black and white that you don't have the opportunity for a judge to make a proper sentence. So we've seen examples of this before. When you look at drug law that was done in the crime bill, and you say that, okay, you have a mandatory minimum sentence. I don't believe in mandatory minimums because I don't think they work. And it also takes away the judicial aspect of it. The reason you have a judge is to impose a sentence, let that person take each case on their own merit, and then try to make a sensible decision for that particular case. But we've taken away some of that by looking at how we have quantified which drugs should be sentenced harsher than others, all of those things. I don't want to go into that particular, demonstration of looking at this for transportation law, but I think we need to look at the fact that it's a loophole in the law that you can have a suspended license and continue to just get ticket after ticket after ticket, and you ain't gonna pay them. And at a certain point in time, you need to have some further consequences, and that would be going to the county jail for that, because I believe you should also pay your fines. So I think we had or do some other type of community involvement work if you don't have the certain amount of money to do that, to offset that. So there has to be some temperament that goes into that. You have to have a consequence for doing crime. Other than that, you're just going to have nothingness and anarchy. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to have our interview. We have a special guest with us from the African American Roundtable today, and we will see you on the other side. You're listening to WNOV, The Voice.
Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship presents its third
I was not putting up gang signs.
Yes, you were.
No, I was not.
Wow.
I was going along with the melody of the music, Devo. That's what I was intending to do.
She was over.
You know what?
Yeah, boy.
Anyway,
Raisha, you saw her, didn't you?
I did miss it. I
Yeah,
missed
you
it.
missed it.
Raisha says she missed it. Don't try to pull. Don't try to pull people into stuff. That's terrible.
Harvey said.
Carvey did not. He was not paying attention.
Matter of fact, I did see.
You know what, Carvey? See, I thought we was better than that.
It's on camera,
You're not
too.
gonna get
It's
nothing
on
from your
camera.
birthday. It's okay. It's okay. Your birthday gonna be cut short.
Only because. It's
Yet
my
your birthday is Wednesday. No gift for you. All right. We have a special guest in the studio with us this morning. We have Miss Raisha from the African American Roundtable. It is a pleasure for me to interview her today because the African American Roundtable is a community-based organization that is based in my district over on the far northwest side, and they do a lot of work for the community. They brought us the community, I don't know what to call it. It was a community grant process that you all did.
Oh, our participatory budgeting process.
The participatory budget process. And then you had
them big words around.
It was like now what was that called? Was that part of the granting that you did for the small community organizations?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. So we care a lot about safety at the African American Roundtable and finding alternative ways to promote and produce safety. And we have a campaign that advocates for investment in communities to promote safety. And a part of that campaign's ask has been to demand participatory budgeting as a process that the city invests in, which basically means give people in districts decision-making power by giving districts their own pots of money that they can use to propose and vote on and decide where to spend money on safety in their communities. And we decided to, put our money where our mouth is and create our own internal process as an organization. So we did give away $40,000 to safety last year for organizations got $10,000 each. 3 of them were serving young people, and one of them was a church that was renovating a kitchen to serve meals to elderly folks. So yeah, one of the many things we do.
And that's a unique process, I think, and one that should be replicated across
Mhm.
different districts.
Mhm.
And on the far northwest side, we know we struggle with a lot of, I mean, just understanding the demographics of the community.
Mhm.
We have like wealthier people, and then we have low income folks.
Such a
So
mix.
it's a mix. Just that, homeowners, renters, everybody is a hodgepodge. One of the things I think makes the district such a good district is that you have
Mhm.
so many different levels of people, and we all commune together. You see a lot of the programming with the Granville bid and different things that we do in the community. So it's often good to see a lot of folks that participate in those things. But you're here to talk to us today about something else that's special. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so we just had a celebration on Saturday of our launch of our Northwest Side Asset Map,
Okay.
which was about a year and a half in the making in terms of the work, but conceptually probably much longer. The Northwest Side Asset Map is just something that we produced to, as we were advocating for investment in communities, know where to put the money, know where
Okay.
to tell the Common Council and the mayor, hey, these are assets in the community. These are gems. These are resources. These are seen as valuable by folks on the Northwest Side. So if you want to promote safety on the Northwest Side in a way that might not necessarily prioritize an inflated police budget, here are some resources that folks in the community have been identified as things that'll help to keep them safe.
And what were some of those things?
Yeah, percentage wise, the largest bulk of assets were service providers,
Okay.
Which could have been individuals, could have been groups that didn't have a brick and mortar, or businesses that didn't have a brick and mortar. But service providers like folks who are providing like mental health support, or folks who are providing support for mothers, or birthing and carrying people, or folks who were providing just like cultural things. There's a couple like community centers and like heritage and culture centers on the map as well. So about 34% of the assets on the map were individual or otherwise service providers. There's like transportation resources, because we know there's a mechanic shop left and right on the Northwest Side. Another large percentage was actually food access, which was cool to see. And the third or fourth largest one was educational institutions, or like learning programs, after school programs for young people. So a lot on the map. There's over 150 assets on that thing and growing.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of good work went into that.
Well, that's good. That's good. I think one of the things you think about is providing resources to people in the community, making sure that they are even aware of what is available. Because we are so quick to say, well, ain't nothing over here.
Exactly.
I'm like, it's a lot over here.
Exactly.
I stay close to home quite a bit, but to make sure that you actually learn your community and actually, take the time to get to know, like, that used to be Dairy Queen, but it's now XYZ that's there, so figure out what has changed over the course of time. And a lot of the investment that a lot of people have put into doing the work. You all do a lot of work in the community trying to highlight businesses and give folks opportunities, and working with other entities in the community to do that as well. So thank you for that.
No, you're welcome. All of Milwaukee is welcome. And you spoke a lot to like a part of the reason why we wanted to go this route to produce this asset map is because people say a lot, there's nothing over here on the Northwest Side. And so it also came from, aside from just like looking for places to invest in the community, let's investigate that question.
Right.
Like, are there things over here? And now we know there's at least 150 things and more, because I have a list of things that we need to add. But yeah, like there's a number of things, and people just aren't aware of those things, as you mentioned, as you spoke to. So how do we get it all, as much of it as possible, in a singular place, and amplify that thing, which is why there's been so much marketing behind it. We had the celebration on Saturday. How do we amplify that thing and those resources so that folks know, you don't have to go to Mequon, you don't have to go to Menominee, you don't have to come downtown if you really don't really want to. And another thing that I sort of heard you speak to, which has been fun as we've been working to build relationships with the assets on the map, to figure out how we can support them work together. One very exciting thing that's come up is we've heard a lot from businesses that are on the map, because it's not just businesses, it's organizations, people, like I mentioned. But businesses have spoken a lot to like marketing is expensive.
Yeah.
People don't always have the skill or the manpower to make it happen. And so what an amazing thing to also be able to support people in that way, right? Who are trying to promote trying to offer their skills and their gifts and their dopeness to the Northwest side, and to be able to support them and say, let's help amplify you and what you have to offer. So yeah, this project is really exciting for us.
All right. So you can find out more information about the asset map. Where?
Yeah, you can go to our website. It's aartmke.org.
And if you have a business that is on the Northwest side, how would they contact you there as well?
Yes, you should actually email me. My name is Raisha Farmer, so you can email me at RYESHIA Farmer, like Farmer Brown, at AfricanAmericanRoundtable.org, and I'll get you on there.
Okay. So if you have any businesses, you have any assets that you want to add to the map, make sure you reach out to the African American Roundtable. Now, do they have to just be African American? I know somebody gonna ask that.
No, thank you. Thank you for going there with me. No,
put that out the way.
We've been organizing on the Northwest side for a few years now, and one of the things that we know is that the Northwest side is not exclusive to Black folks, and so some of the things right now are like Asian markets. There's like a martial arts school. So yeah, not everything on that map is going to be coming from Black folks. So yeah, don't let race be a determining factor on if you reach out or not. As long as you're on the Northwest side, aldermanic districts 5 or 9, we want you on the map.
All right, you heard that, aldermanic districts 5 or 9. This is what the AART is working on for the Northwest side community. So make sure you reach out to African American Roundtable. Make sure that you get your business listed. If you have other resources, I know you talked a lot about after school programs. For the longest time, people did not realize. I was like, we only had like the farthest school that we had was Maple Tree. That used to be the school that was furthest away in the city because Happy Hill closed. And then it was the Hmong American Peace Academy had their elementary school there, but then they've since left and went to Old Morris Middle School. So they're in that building. So I think they have all of their programming is in that one building. And then who's that? Eddie DeShazer has what is the name of the school? Greater Holy Temple. That's what it is. Greater Holy Temple School is now over in the old Granville Elementary School. So they're back over there. So, and that was just an amazing asset for that community because there was no elementary school that was in the middle of that community. And they have a lot of homes that are over there, and they had a lot of kids that lived in that area. So you would see buses all the time coming to get the kids and then taking them back. But he said when they moved from their original location, they lost some families, but were able to gain quite a few that lived in the area. So now those children can walk to school. So that was an amazing thing for them to have a school. So I think they're probably now the furthest school that's out. Aside from Maple Tree Public School that was over in that direction. Then you have a charter school that's over there too. So.
Yeah, there's quite a few schools on the map. Like countless, at the event on Saturday, it was important to figure out, we can't showcase everybody, but who can we highlight and, put some faces, names, words, descriptions to what's alive on this map. And it was hard to choose. It was hard to choose, especially between schools, because there's so many.
Goodrich Elementary is right there. You got all those schools that are right there together.
And I know we don't even have them all either, right? Like we have some more work to do to collect all the schools, let alone all the other assets. So yeah, there's so much richness on the Northwest side, and it was great to see that. It also helped to put into perspective, speaking of, young people, it helped to put into perspective, what the African American Roundtable could be advocating for in this time. What's the frontmost, centermost, first, foremost thing that we should be advocating for. And there was one line so we work with Ubuntu Research and Evaluation. I don't ever want to forget to say that.
Dr. Monique Liston.
Miss Dr.
The founder of Ubuntu Research.
Shout out to Monique.
Monique Liston.
But yeah, we work with some folks for her team, Deja, Corinne, and Radea at the time. They helped to do a lot of the legwork to do the research preliminarily to figure out what's the lay of the land, what's the history that helps to explain why the Northwest side is the way it is, why people understand it to be the way it is. and helped us to build this team of residents who would help us to collect the data that would go onto the map. And long story short, they gave us a hefty report, of course, of the process and the findings and recommendations. And there was one line in the report that like just rings bells in my head. It talks about how conversations with one of the resident leaders roles was knowledge keepers. So these are people who've been on the Northwest Side for some time. They've seen it grow and change. They have a lot of wisdom. And so in those conversations, one of the things that they saw is that like, or one of the things that they heard, a lot of conversations that they were having was around people on the Northwest Side wanting community centers or like some place to gather for families, young people, and elders. And I read that sentence and it clicked in my head that we've been hearing that over and over again. And I work over the last 3 years on the Northwest Side, whether it's through Northwest Side Stories, the participatory budgeting process, just like meeting and canvassing and connecting with people, having meetings with people. And now this asset mapping project has made it very real for us that, yeah, people on the Northwest Side right now, first and foremost, like places to be. Be in community with their families, with young people, with elders, intergenerational spaces.
I think that's why the Granville Blues Festival has worked and has been as successful as it was, because it's an intergenerational space.
Yeah.
I've seen kids as young as 7, 8 years old. They're enjoying themselves with people who are in their 80s.
Because it's like the cookout feel, right? Like
exactly.
We know folks in Milwaukee love a good, let's get together, let's hang out, play music, eat food, enjoy ourselves, kiki, crack a couple jokes. Yeah. Absolutely. It makes so much sense. And so
when you think about it, we don't have, like, when you think about other neighborhoods, when I think about like Washington Park, they have the Washington Park Senior Center. When you think about McGovern attached to a park, we have lovely parks on the north side. So many wonderful parks on the north side, but we don't have that community. It's not a senior center that far away, that far up. So we don't have one of those. So that, like, you think about Clinton Rose, that area, everybody goes and has programming at Clinton Rose.
That's the first.
So hopefully our bid building, Mary, when is that bid building gonna be done? So maybe when we get the Granville connection, Mary Honey, if you listening right now, call in and give us an update on the Granville connection, because everybody needs a place to be. And with the food hall that's going to be there and all the other things that she has planned, I think that will be an asset, most definitely, to our community to do that. Now, you talked about people having suggestions and stuff. So since I'm a resident and here,
let me know.
I'm going to take my moment of personal privilege and say, when we are doing this participatory budgeting process, there is a train that runs downtown.
Oh, yeah.
From one end of it to the other.
Yeah.
And if the mayor's listening, I hope we're going to eventually have fare boxes on said train so we can make some money from it. So I hope my alderman is listening, Larissa Taylor, this is for you. Lamont Westmoreland, I'm talking to you too. And Jose Perez, I know you listen every day, so I'm talking to you too. I would like to see that particular train make its way to Granville, because I get tired of driving downtown. And parking is going to become more and more expensive downtown. So if I could have the train stop somewhere by my house so that I could get on the train and ride downtown, I would be very, very happy. So when you land train tracks in the future, when we get money to do different things and expand our transportation infrastructure, I need the train to come to District 9. That's what I'm saying. I need it to come somewhere around about Good Hope Road so I can get on the train and drive downtown.
Yeah, what a vision.
Downtown. What a vision.
What's a vision.
What a thing that I need to happen in short order, Jose Perez.
And I support it. And
others that are on the Common Council.
We want to benefit from some luxury on the Northwest Side as well.
Hey, because we have held it down for generations. I remember I grew up with North Ridge. I was there. I wasn't there when it went up, but I was there when it closed down. And to see it now being torn down,
and it's
after 20-some years, thank the Lord. Okay, we got that part over with. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's halfway down. I
might have to just venture out there just to see that.
You can venture out to see. We have a lot of things for you to do out there. The taco truck is over there, so you can see the taco truck. Okay. You don't really do taco trucks? We have other restaurants.
Truck across the street.
Perkins Boys on the Grill is good.
Oh, that's my spot.
Perkins Boys is good.
I heard it's very good.
We have quite a few things on my side of town that are quite lovely.
Check out the Northwest Side Northwest Side Asset Map to see all the things
Where
that we
that at?
have.
Where would I find that at?
AARTMKE.org.
See, pull it up on your phone
Who
right
they-
now.
who they-
Pull it up on your phone.
AART.
And when you pull it up, make sure you
MKE.
save it, bookmark it, because you never know when you happen to be on the Northwest Side or when you want to venture over.
Exactly,
And
because we have
you-
wonderful
Not sure how to do that.
accommodations. You know, you have to help senior citizens. He turned 58 today.
You
He's
click
not
the
really
you click the
good
three
with that.
dots. Happy birthday.
He need help.
MKE.
MK.
If you're listening, you can do it with us live. You can do it with us.
So
live.
that's AART
MKE.
MKE dot OR.
What a dot at?
G.
What do it look like? .org.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Y'all have fun here, I see.
Yes.
let's see, and then I hit search, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Look
that's
here.
nice.
Oh, look at that.
Well, look at there.
Look at there.
Look at that.
I'm gonna accept because y'all collected my cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't like that button there. That'd say donate right there. First thing. Donate.
Hey, money answereth all things. You.
So do I need to
We
put
gotta
my name and
sustain
stuff
the
in there? Do I
work.
sign up or what do I do?
So
For
you
email address to receive newsletters and updates. Yeah.
Yep, you can if you want to receive newsletters.
I'll go ahead and put my name in there. I won't be like that.
Yeah, we giving you all the free info. You want to go to Perkins Boys,
If you want to, stay up to date, no better way than to be on
and if
the
you want a
email
good
list.
brunch spot, breakfast brunch spot, you have to go to the Park Place
I like
Cafe.
Mr. B's.
Yeah, that's good.
Mr. B, let me tell you one thing. I'm gonna tell you about Mr. B's. Mr. B's is the best place because the 3 B's that's over there working, Mr. B's, they got a gem on their hands because I was super confused in my limited infinite wisdom. I said, wait a minute. They had a sexy red after party at Mr. B. I said the sexy red crowd can party at Mr. B's, and then he had like R&B night. I was like, that was for people like me.
Mr. B's transforms.
Mr. B's transforms.
It takes on many
But I tell
shapes.
you, they are okay shape shifters, okay, because they can
Have
do
you
a
gone
whole
out
lot.
for that Sunday soul food.
No, I have not, but I heard that it was so good. So if
It
they got
is
some
good.
grits, I'm gonna have to
Had me some
come down and see.
catfish.
And that speaks to what you were saying before
Greens.
about
They got greens, catfish. They got grits.
I don't know. I didn't ask for no grits.
Frenchie, y'all got grits. I know you listening.
Guess who do the cooking?
Who?
Frenchie.
Frenchie doing the cook? Oh, they got
Man,
grits.
them
He'll make me
greens,
some
them
grits if I go
greens
over
was
there.
off
He'll
the
be nice and
chain.
make me some grits if he don't have none. So I'm gonna have to go over there. That's gonna be my after church thing. I'm gonna have to
You
do.
go to church and then you go to the bar.
They have a bar in there, but it is a restaurant and lounge. See, why are you trying to be messy? I didn't say I was going there to drink. I've been talking about grits. You said go to the bar. They serve drinks there because they have a liquor license. This I do know, but
You checked.
I didn't check. I was in there and I saw said bar because I was there for a meeting. Okay, see how you being nosy. Not in other people's business. But anyway, yes, I was like, they really do good business because they are able to
Cater to all the different
different
demographics.
demographics.
Yeah, Frenchie, Craig, Jeff.
And Jeff, yeah. So they've done an excellent job and have been an asset to, especially that little corridor right there. Because once the stores and stuff,
Sort of keeping it alive over there.
they're keeping it alive. And then there was, I don't know if it's still there, but I saw a bunch of kids one night. I had passed by. I was on Brown Deer Road.
It's a gaming store or something.
And I said, what are these kids doing over here? It was just a line of kids waiting. I went over there. It was some Nerf ball thing, some kind of I guess it said like Nerf Wars or something.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna have to take my nephews when they come to go to the little Nerf thing. But the kids are like they were having an excellent time over there.
That's good.
So
You didn't join it?
no, I did not that night. I didn't go to the Nerf party.
I'm done. I got nothing else.
You got
I
nothing else? Yeah.
I
Okay.
signed up, so
You did. That's good. That's
Right.
good. But when we start the Granville Connection, I'm supposed to have my bingo parlay in there, so we're gonna get that going. So I don't have to go all the way to Potawatomi.
Right.
I can stay close to home and play. But that is wonderful. So any other information coming out from the ART? Anything else you want to let the public know?
Yeah, I mean, folks can also email me if they want to help support the map.
Okay.
Yeah, it's me and like a few staff folks and a few resident
You
leaders.
and Marquesa over there pretending to do some work.
Pretending. No. Yeah, we doing what we can when
Okay.
we can do it. You know what I mean? And we have a small staff, and we invite residents, community members, our members to help support the work, sometimes stipend them as well. So if
Okay.
anybody is like, I'm a data person and I want to keep the map updated, or if anybody wants to help us hold these relationships with
Okay.
150 plus assets and growing, just checking in, hearing folks' stories, and figuring out how we can work together. If any of that interests folks, they should reach out to me via email, Raisha Farmer at AfricanAmericanRoundtable.org again. What else do I want to let folks know? Yeah, like I said, gathering spaces is a thing that is a huge takeaway for me from the asset map work and a lot of other work on the Northwest side. And so we have a few coming up this summer. We're going to do like a meet and greet soon, some sort of social gathering in August. In October, we'll be gathering just to like vision with Northwest side folks around how we can collaborate and work together on 2025 and what we should be doing over there. So yeah, lots coming up. And that's just my work, right?
Okay.
Like we got staff leading whole other work.
Oh,
The
okay.
Libre MKE campaign is coming back this year. We have fellows that we're training to lead that campaign again for a second year. Our membership is growing so much. AARTMKE.org, y'all. So much.
So get involved, especially if you live on the Northwest side. We want to make sure that you're a part and you understand what's happening, the changes that are happening in the community. They do a lot of great work, making sure that they make investments on the Northwest side, and that we have a wonderful quality of life. So, I always say the Northwest side is the best side of the city.
Okay, I'm gonna take that.
That's right. That is.
I'm gonna start using that.
I love my neighborhood. So
I'm gonna make sure I quote you.
We don't have mess going on in our neighborhood. We keep it together. So those are the things that I appreciate about being on the Northwest side. So we thank Miss Raisha for coming in and joining us
No
from the
problem.
African American Roundtable. And if you need more information, you can see her, visit her over on Brown Deer Road, because they have a whole office.
We do on 69th and Brown Deer.
69th and Brown Deer. They are there. So drop in sometime, or you can email her at Raisha, RYESHIA Farmer, FARMER at AART
at African
Roundtable.org.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. At AfricanAmericanRoundtable.org. So once again, we want to thank Ms. Raisha Farmer for joining us from the African American Roundtable. Be sure to follow up with her about that asset map and do like Mr. Debo did and look it up on your phone.
Bookmark it, save it.
Bookmark it, save it, and
did
come
that.
see
I
us
did
on the
that.
Northwest side and spend your money on the Northwest side. We like those type of investments too, especially at Perkins Boys on the Grill. Debo is buying my lunch today from Perkins Boys. Look, he said more than welcome on his birthday. See how I made that? It was smooth, wasn't it?
Good job.
All right, you are listening to WNOV, The Voice. We'll see you after our break. Oh, you don't want us making a fuss about you, Mr. Debo? Don't make a fuss. Really? Yeah, right. Okay. Yes. So a couple other things wanted to let the general public know about while we were on the subject. Raisha mentioned Dr. Monique Liston, and that reminded me that I needed to let everyone know that it is time for the 2024 HBCU, that's Historically Black College and University Alumni Awards, as well as our annual T-shirt dance, the scholarship T-shirt dance that happens every year, and we give out alumni awards. And Dr. Monique Liston is one of the individuals who will be receiving one of those awards. So we are very happy to recognize all of our nominees this year. And I'm just getting my list of nominees up here. I wanted to see who they all are to give them their respective shout outs that we have. We have Dr. Monique Liston, who is a graduate of Howard University, and Mr. Garen Jordan from Channel 12, who is also a graduate of Howard University. Mr. Alan Turner, who's from Jackson State University. Judge Tony Young from Grambling State University, Mrs. Frances Huntley Cooper. Frances was actually the first African American mayor in the state of Wisconsin. So she was the mayor of Fitchburg back in the day, and I think it was in the 90s. And she's a graduate of North Carolina A&T State University. And Mr. Paul Moga, who is a graduate of Delaware State University. He's over the Black and Latino Male Achievement Program at Milwaukee Public Schools. And we also have one of the greatest principals ever in life to grace Milwaukee Public Schools. You know him. He didn't take no mess. Dr. Rogers Onick. He graduate of University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. There are stories to this day. My sister has told me the stories of how he would get on the bus if you went to Morris Middle School and make sure you had 2 books in your backpack. So making sure that he was checking backpacks and making sure that that level of excellence was still was in vogue, and making sure that his students actually did the right thing. So those are our illustrious alumni award nominees this year, or honorees this year. So they will be receiving their awards on May 31st. If you are interested and you are an HBCU alumnus, we look to have your face in the place. So make sure you go to Eventbrite to get your tickets. You can get your tickets at eventbrite.com, or you can see any member of your local alumni chapter. They should have tickets available for you to purchase, or you can give me a call at 504-814-0664. Once again, 504-814-0664. And we will make sure that you get your ticket to this year's HBCU Alumni Awards and Scholarship event that we're having. So we are so happy that we have gotten those nominees their information, and they'll be joining us on May 31st for that event. So she mentioned Dr. Liston. I wanted to make sure that I gave a shout out to Dr. Liston, who does so much great work in the community, along with our other honorees that we have this year. One other thing I wanted to mention, Debo, I know you are a basketball fan. You said not anymore, the Bucks are done, but that's okay. The Chicago Sky are in, and since we don't have a women's basketball team in Milwaukee, I'm going to be rooting for Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky, she and Camila Cardoso. So I cannot wait for, I believe it's tomorrow. Let me just check. Is it tomorrow? I think it's supposed to be tomorrow. Is their game? Yes, tomorrow night at 7:00. It's a preseason game, but it is the Chicago Sky versus the New York Liberty. So they will be playing in Chicago, and you can also find it on television. So they will be broadcasting the game.
We had the Does.
We had the Milwaukee Does. We did have the Does, but
what happened?
You know, that was when was it the WBL, I think, or WBA? They actually folded. So that's when the Does actually stopped existing. But hopefully,
and why didn't we get another team?
Because the WNBA started with was it like 6 teams, I think, back in 1997, 8. No, I think it was 8. It was because 80 played in the WNBA at that time, back in when they first started the WNBA back in 1997.
You started, you played, was you a starter?
You know, when I played basketball, I was a starter. Yeah, I was a starter because I started, but I was a center, a forward, and a guard. I played all three positions.
You was a center.
Yeah.
You must have
I
played
sat in the center of the bench.
yeah, yeah.
I guarded the water, and I looked forward to getting into the game. So I was I played those three positions, and I played them well. For Rufus King High School, I was the manager of the women's basketball team at King High
Sounds more
School.
like
So,
it. That
so
sounds
they
more like
know they know I was the star. I was a starter. I started right there with them every season when I was in high school. But no, I was on the team. I watched over some very talented athletes.
So you were the water boy, water girl.
I was, yes.
Equipment manager is what they
I
call
was the
it.
equipment manager. That's what I did. Yep. I was the equipment manager, and I was also trained in CPR. So if anybody got hurt, I could help.
Okay.
I used to do a little bit of athletic training. I could tape you up. I could get you to the hospital. And it happened on a couple instances. I actually had to do it. So, yeah. So that is that's what I did on the team. I was helping in other ways. But yeah. So I'm excited for Angel Reese. I need to order my jersey. They were sold out when I tried to get mine. So I need to make sure I go back and try to check again and get my Angel Reese jersey. So I can support her and all that she is doing, she and Miss Cardozo on the Chicago Sky. So I can't look. I'm waiting to root for them tomorrow night, and you should as well. All right. Debo is telling me it's time for me to say goodbye. So now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. MIC, see you next time. KEY, why? Because we love you. And Keith will be back tomorrow. It's been great, Milwaukee. Have a great rest of your day.
Open our eyes.